Hey everybody, Drew here, and this is my shop. Normally I say you're in my shop with a car, but as you see, there isn't one in here, just pieces of that 54 Chevy on the wall, and it's a little bit of a mess because it's been the busiest December our business has ever seen, but I just wanted to show you guys, there's a lot of curiosity around this, you know, how I do what I do. I'm an owner-operator of a small car dealership that does units like these and units like that, just older Toyotas and Hondas, Lexuses like that, all from southern states that don't get any snow or very little snow, and that has made for great success because people around here are used to stuff like my plow truck, which is all just falling apart and you need a hammer to get the trailer hitch out. Anyways, that said, this is my shop, and I sell almost 80 cars a year, a lot of them online. I make YouTube videos for every car, and I do so completely alone by myself. That's by design. I do that so I don't have the burden of feeding employees, and I'm able to control my own schedule. I do it out of this shop, and I just want to show you guys how it's set up. So basically, I got a workbench, and you see I got a heat gun out there. I just took apart a speedometer and changed the ceramic resonator in it, soldered in a new one. So that's kind of like where I do little stuff like that. And I have my chemical shelf, you know, your brake cleaner and all that crap. And all my shelves, the higher you go, the less likely something's going to need to be used. Little giblets, tie wraps, tie wraps and electrical connectors, stuff like that. More of a supplies shelf, but little supplies. This cart is supposed to be empty. I use it as a like business inbox when I'm here. I do have an office, but you know, all the stuff that needs to be scanned and parts that come in for jobs that I'm going to be doing really soon. And I keep my sockets, of course, up top. Electric tools and stuff like that are locked, but you know, I call this my safety cabinet up here. That's where gloves and respirators and things like that are. And then again, it's been a mess. It's busy. Wrenches are up here, just things that I use constantly. And then I have my detail shelf on the bottom, which I aim to use more than my, you know, big specialty tools. I buy cars that don't need a lot of work, kind of like that smoke machine for evap systems. I don't ever want to use that. I hate that. I hate anything related to that. I don't buy cars with evap issues, but if one does sneak through, I've got that sitting right there for that exact purpose. You know, like a dwell gauge for antique cars and, you know, injector cleaner canister, but the more common tools are lower. That's where my oxyacetylene torch normally sits, but it's there for now because it's got to get filled. You know, your extractor, all that jazz. This is supposed to be just, you know, a garbage in a clear space, but that's where used oil goes to be recycled, and that drill press is for sale. This is my fluid shelf here. I keep all my funnels hung and they drain into my oil catch pan. You'll notice there's no lift and I get by happily without one. I'd love to have one, but I'd much rather keep my overhead as low as possible and keep my wife and kids fed and happy. But there's, you know, fluid shelf, stuff like that. Antifreeze here. And then this is the battery shelf. I am going to be moving, so I'm not bothering doing much more, but this was actually going to have a whole row of outlets and tenders for like 6 or 7 batteries, common sizes that are good to go. Paint, a little paint cabinet here. Stuff like that and body stuff. Again, don't want to do much of that, so it's farther back and higher up. Of course, the tire machines save a lot of money, and more importantly than money, I save a lot of time by being able to do this myself. And then things like engine pickers and engine stands, way back in the corner and buried because I don't ever want to touch them. The heater that's not installed yet that I hope would be, and then I have parts for this 54 Chevy project I'm going to be starting soon. I have to because I need it in one piece when we move. But then you come over here to the press, wheel bearings and things like that, all the adapters underneath. And then this will get, because I need to start doing it again soon, there's a couple hybrid batteries there and some hybrid battery cells and all the things needed to rebuild hybrid batteries. I'm going to hang a, you know, like a kitchen light style, a diffusing light, so that's a nice well-lit area. And there will be like a couple double outlets there to plug in battery chargers and this drill press, which happens to be right here. And then there's this wall, which has like the ladder, the creeper, the carts, ramps, wheel chucks, and then it doesn't look it, but it's a very organized It has the Wix and Fram part numbers. I keep oil filters in stock for the cars I do most commonly. And there's metric and standard nuts and bolts and little giblets and things like that. There's another set. Those are in bags ready to go in this other set of containers there. And then I have my little wood board where I could change my shoes and not get my feet dirty on this 94-year-old crumbling concrete floor. And then a cabinet with extra clothes if the unspeakable happens. I do work on cars. A compressor that's not big enough to run the shop, but the shop only has a 60 amp service to it. It's how you keep the overhead low. It sucks, but like I said, I'm here to provide a good life for my wife and 4 children, not be comfortable in some heated shop and all that jazz. I'm in the trenches and my family's not. That's how it should be. That's garbage. Just took it out of a car and yeah, anyways, so that is my shop. As humble as it is, the amount of cars that come out of this shop from one person is, and I say this humbly, it's very impressive. I mean, to be able to move, this year it's got to be 80 cars, totally alone. Everything is done here. I could do engines and transmissions if I had to, but I buy my cars guaranteed, so I don't have to. I get in something that needs, like that Camry, it's going to be really cheap, so it doesn't need a bumper. But if that was a low mileage Camry, I would replace that bumper. But it's humble. It gets the job done. I've got these LED lights, which I originally came across the manufacturer on Amazon, but then I got to know the account rep in the Philippines, and she sends them to me directly when I need them. And, I've got one actually underneath that door, so when it's shut, it lights up the trunk. I usually pull a car in, and this is the spot I work on cars that I need done quick, an oil change for a unit that's sold, or, if just a detail, something a little bit more long-term, like that Lexus I showed you is going to need a little bit of love. That'll sit there and, it'll sit there for a day or two. Well, 2 or 3 cars in a day might take up this spot here. But my wife, if you're watching this, I love you with all my heart. She's going to kill me for showing you guys the mess. But, when it's busy, this is what it looks like. When it's not, it looks all perfect and clean. That means money's not being made. But I know where everything is. It is very organized. Again, it's kind of a part shelf. The higher up, the less likely to use. Or at least that's the goal. Just parts that are probably all going to get donated or sold when I move because they've been there for years and I have no sense in moving them if they're going to be there again. But everything's here. A little hot rodding. There's all the tubes you need to make brake lines, steering wheel covers for a really cheap car that needs it, antique car steering wheels. There's hubcaps hung all over the place. And this is my shop, and I just want to let you guys know for the car channel that you can build hot rods in here. You can run a car dealership, an owner-operator car dealership out of a space this humble. And I might just post this on the financial channel as well to let you subscribers know that, I have... I'm very, very humbly, I'm extremely, extremely blessed to say, we've crossed the line, where we're getting to the point where we're comfortable on just one income. And I run a very, very reputable car dealership at the time of filming. We've got 1 5-star review for every 3 cars we've sold, it's just jaw-dropping and humbling. I ship cars all over the United States and all over the world. And I have people order $15,000, $20,000 cars online from just building a good business and a good reputation. But the shop is this humble. If you're considering getting into this business, a lot of people come in this business and fail and get hurt really, really quick because the first thing they do is they feel a little bit of success. They taste a little success and they go and they lease a $4,500 a month shop and hire a couple people at $50,000, $60,000 a year to crank out 100 cars. Then they realize they're not making any more money, but they're extremely stressed. Then something like COVID or 9/11 or the crash of 2008 happens, and they're not sleeping. Me, I slept like a baby through COVID. I don't want to go into World War III or some other crazy thing, but I will survive. This is a humble shop, and I could do a couple sets of tires. I put these used Michelin snow tires on these rims, and that the profit on that almost covers the rent on this humble shop, which could become less humble. I'm gonna hang that heater in the next couple days here, and I could work out a deal with the a landlord to put in new concrete. I'd have to pay for the concrete, but if I was staying, I probably would do it, and I could put a lift back here and all that and keep that rent low. So for those of you interested in cars, you build beautiful hot rods and fix daily drivers in here all day. For those of you interested in the financial side, I say this again, very blessed and very humbly, not arrogant at all, but we run a very, when I say we, my mostly me, and my wife, helps, and she's my encouragement and my purpose. But a very substantial business for what it is. A very reputable and publicly loved car dealership is run out of this humble space. So I hope for both purposes, from a business standpoint and from a car guy or girl standpoint, that this has been entertaining. This is my shop. I am Drew. God bless, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.